What is up? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I'm your host, Alan Bell. We have a fantastic show lined up for you this Tuesday morning. And I tell you what, before we get into that, let's take a look at how we did on Monday. And yeah, just ignore that right side of the recap there. Woof. X's, mostly from me. Terrible. Mike Evans, come on, man. You couldn't fall one more yard. And Dalton, got to give him credit. He had a good night in the air. The Maestro coming through. Godwin, 6.5 receptions. Saints, 3.5. Buckets nailing it with Brazil on the over 2.5 goals. And Cian DeJohn continues his perfect run. Taysom Hill, longest rush under 11.5 yards. So great job by Sia. Looking at the schedule for today, obviously you are here with us in the morning. We'll be live 4 p.m. Eastern today for Early Edge and 5, as well as 4:30 p.m. Eastern for the NFL Weekly Preview Show with Mike, Maestro, and RJ, getting you all set for NFL Week 14. And lastly, if you could, turn on those notifications for YouTube, turn on those notifications for your podcast, however you consume the Early Edge. It would mean a ton to us. Please leave a review on podcast if you listen there as well. Hey, doesn't have to be positive. Could be negative. You could hate the sound of my voice, but please leave a review. It would help us a ton. But enough of me yapping. Let's bring in the actual stars of the show and get this thing going. And look at this all-star crew we have right here. First up, Katie Mox. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good, although I was pretty heavy on the Bucks last night. And, Tom Brady had the audacity to come back and win the game, but not cover the spread. What a jerk, So
I know, a jerk indeed, right? And you would think somebody from Northern California would get it, right? Like they would get it for sure.
Yes.
So.
Yes, you would think.
Absolutely.
You would think.
Yeah. Zach Attack, my man. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing better. The house is kind of fighting a little bit of a bug, but I'm doing better. Let's hope we can cash some tickets today.
Hey, you know what? Absolutely, man. You fighting through it. Well done. We are proud of you on that. And my man, Mikey B, which I again say every single time, dude, you have, I think, the best background on the Early Edge. Like, it's like a Hall of Fame walking in there. How we doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks. Yeah, the Dream Team signed jersey collection's going strong. Haven't added to it in a while, but always got my eyes out for a new edition.
See, you know what? You always keep it in the head, man. I like that a lot. All right, let's get into the storylines that affect the betting lines for today. And I'll tell you what, first up, let's start in the NBA. And I'm going to come right back at you, Barter. Anthony Davis, our dude, AD, is on fire. Talk to us, man. What do you see?
Yeah, he's been destroying the competition of late. He dismantled the Wizards on Sunday. 55 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 blocks in that game. Over his last 9 games, he's averaging 35.3 points, 15.6 rebounds, and 2.9 blocks. The Lakers went 7-2 during that span. They get themselves back in the playoff hunt here. When Davis is healthy, he's one of the best players in the league. This is a fun matchup tonight against the Cavaliers, who are one of the better defensive teams in the league, and they have plenty of size up front. So it'll be nice to see what he can do against that good matchup.
Yeah, man, absolutely, dude. Your boy really has been on absolute fire, just a tear out there for sure. All right, Zach Attack, coming to you, man. We're going to stay on the hardwood here. But college basketball, dude, we got a big matchup coming up. Iowa, Duke. Break that one down, man. What do you see?
Yeah, the Jimmy V Classic, 2 games today at Madison Square Garden. They're both going to be really good games. You look at Iowa, they've got more of an upperclassman roster than Duke, with Duke who starts 4 freshmen. But Iowa, they've already beat 2 ACC teams this year. Clemson by 3 points. They are just coming off a big victory over Georgia Tech. They beat them by 16 points. So 2-0 against the ACC. But you look at Duke at Madison Square Garden since 2018, they are 3-0. They defeated Texas Tech. They defeated Kansas. And then last year they defeated Kentucky. So 3-0 at Madison Square Garden. I do think they play a little bit elevated basketball there for some reason. I would lean towards Duke.
There we go, man. Duke and MSG. Can't ask for more. All right. Before we get into our best bets for today, let's take a quick break and hear from one of our partners. And we are back. All right. Tell you what, speaking of AD, speaking of the Lakers, Katie, coming over to you first. You got 2 plays. Hit us with it. What are those Mox locks? I want to see them.
The Mox locks. All right. Well, I'm taking the points with the Lakers tonight, plus the 4.5. So despite a horrible start to the season, dare I say that the Lakers are back. The Lake Show have won 8 of their last 10, including 3 straight wins and covers. You heard from Mikey B. Anthony Davis has been on another planet in terms of production. He dropped 55 points on Sunday and has recorded 10 straight double-doubles. The Cavs did beat the Lakers by 14 just last month. However, Cleveland is coming off a season low of just 81 points versus the Knicks. In fact, they're averaging about 98 points per game across the past 6 games. games compared to the Lakers, who are averaging about 123 over their last 10. The Lakers have all the momentum right now coming into this matchup, and we know how seriously LeBron takes coming home. Jarrett Allen also still questionable with that back injury. He's not played in 5 games. Cleveland just 2-3-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. I might still play the Lakers money line. That's at plus 150, but I do feel very confident that they can cover this spread. Best line right now at Caesars with that added hook. I've seen the line as low as 4 in some places. And I'm going to fade Anthony Davis tonight under 28.5. That's at minus 122 on FanDuel. Now, I know everything that Mikey and myself just said, fading Anthony Davis sounds a little bit crazy. The guy's been on absolute fire, but a lot of this has to do with LeBron James really being unselfish and feeding his big man regularly. The only reason I can see a bit of regression here, and Mikey did talk about how good the Cavs defense is, but LeBron basically has 2 occasions where he absolutely needs to show out. That's against the Warriors and Steph Curry. And then also when he comes home to Cleveland. Because of this, Davis historically struggles to be as good versus the Cavs over the last 3 seasons. Davis averages only 17 points per game versus Cleveland. I still think he has a big game, but I like this line at FanDuel at 28.5. So I'm going to fade him tonight on that one.
Yeah, I love it. You know what? That's spoken like a true capper right there. Well done. Absolutely. Nice job, Katie. All right, let's get into college basketball. Coming right back at you, Zach Attack. You got one play. My man, hit me with it. What do you got?
Yes, and I was actually just double checking the point spread here. I'm seeing 3 at one book. I was going to check another book to see if it's still at 4, but I had it on 4 for the show. You're going to see that in the graphic here in a minute. So shop around, see if you can get 3.5, 4 out there. But I like Illinois against Texas. You look at Illinois, they're coming off a loss to Maryland, and they played good ranked teams this year. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a difference in this matchup against Texas. They played UCLA, they played Virginia, coming off the road game against Maryland. And you look at Texas, they haven't left the state. Their first 6 games, they've been at home or they played that little neutral site tournament against NAU. So they haven't left the state. They go into the big stage at Madison Square Garden. And then the bigger storyline here is Illinois senior transfer guard Terrence Shannon Jr. You hear Fran Fraschilla in their games ranting and raving every single time. He's been one of the most improved seniors in college basketball. That doesn't get talked about a lot. Went from 11 points per game at Texas Tech his junior year to 21 this year. He's really taking advantage of any spot, shooting the 3, taking it into the paint, dribble drive, doing everything. And you got to remember his former coach, Chris Beard, 2 years ago at Texas Tech. So that's a little bit of a storyline. He's going to want to have a little bit of extra edge tonight at Madison Square Garden. He's already playing really good. I think his team feeds off that energy, and Texas' first road experience of the year at Madison Square Garden is going to be a factor. I'll play Illinois.
Nice job, man. Nice job. All right, Barter, coming over to you. All right, you have 2 plays, NBA. And speaking of what Zach just said, in the state of Texas, one of them is playing there, or actually playing against a team from Texas. I just messed that transition up horrifically. But yeah, Barter, you got 2, man. Break it down. What do you got?
I got you. Don't worry. So there's only 3 NBA games tonight, and between me and Katie, we've got picks for all 3 of them. Doesn't get any more exciting than that. So I'm going to go first to the Pistons Heat game. I'm going to go Pistons plus 8.5. Now, the Heat just played Monday. They played the Grizzlies. It was an embarrassing loss. They lost to the Grizzlies. The Heat had no injury issues, while John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, and John Conchar were all out for the Grizzlies. That's just embarrassing. The big thing here is it's the second game of back-to-back set. Now, the Heat have a lot of older players. They tend to rest guys. I would not be surprised if at least Jimmy Butler sits this game out. He recently missed 7 games with a knee injury. They are 4-5 in games that he has missed this season. None of those 4 wins came by more than 8 points. 2 of them were by 3 or fewer points. We could also see Tyler Hero sit, maybe Kyle Lowry. So I'm going to jump on this now and take the Pistons at plus 8.5. Cade Cunningham is the only injury of note that they have. I think this line moves as some Heat players get ruled out later in the day. And then we'll go to that matchup that you mentioned with the Mavericks. They are playing the Nuggets in Denver. We're going to go Nuggets minus 4.5. The Mavericks couldn't look much better last night. They dismantled the Suns. But the key here is that the Mavericks are 0-3-1 against the spread in the second game of back-to-back set. They are 3-7 against the spread on the road this season. They are terrible on the road. These 2 teams played twice earlier this season. Jokic did not play either of those games. Both were played in Dallas, where the Mavericks are 10-3, and the Nuggets actually won one of those games, which is pretty impressive with Jokic out. Michael Porter Jr. is the biggest injury for the Nuggets. They are used to playing without him. He only played 9 games last season. He's missed 7 games this season, and they are 5-2 without him. So let's go Nuggets minus 4.5 at home.
Dude, you weren't lying about the Miami Heat, right? Like last night,
Yeah.
I was riding. Yeah, dude, I was riding them in the Grizzlies. Like in that game, I just needed Miami to get to 100 points. Nada.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
I may have live bet them when they were down at the half on the money line, and they lost, and I was pretty upset. That was embarrassing. So now we're gonna go Pistons to make us feel a little bit better about how bad the Heat were yesterday.
See, I like that, man. I'm riding you and Katie's picks and Zach's pick on Illinois. And look, man, like it was what 58-51 at halftime.
Yeah,
Like I know, dude. I was right there with you. Like, come on, man. We can at least get 100. Nope, couldn't do it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. But you know what we have to do? Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take a look at the recap here. And it is glorious courtesy of our man, Jake the Snake. Zach Attack is on Illinois +4. Mark W. Green on the Portugal-Switzerland. Both teams to score match today. Katie Mox is on Lakers +4.5. Anthony Davis under 28.5 points. Mike Barter, as he just broke down, Pistons +8.5 and the Nuggets -4.5 against the Mavericks. Today, we will be live again, 4 p.m. Eastern for the Early Edge in 5, 4:30 p.m. Eastern for the NFL Weekly Preview Show. We will break down everything for NFL Week 14. But until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets, and we'll see you later today. Thanks.